Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, Marcus in the morning. Good morning. Good morning, Vinny D. Martini. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Bartley McDowell. Good morning, Citizen 1491. Thank you. ZOX. Good morning, ZOX. Carol Hayes. Jules Dalval. Alex Judge. Yeah, good morning, Sneezer. Good morning, Sneezer. Alex Judge. Yeah, baby. We have some people to get here. We're all here. Joe Biden has endorsed Bernie Sanders. You heard? Is it a gotcha? I don't know. Let me find out. Oh, I'm feeling the beat. I'm feeling the beat. Feeling. So, come back to the beat, man. Just have a whole show of the beat, man. So I dug up some clips, man. I got some clips for you guys, man. It's just dope. All right, so start off with a little coronavirus update. I've been talking to the very good Dr. John, friend of the program, and Dr. John has sent out a warning. She has sent out a warning to all those in eye shot of coronavirus to not touch anything. It's very contagious. The good doctor says it may be as contagious as maybe 80 times more contagious than the smallpox. So this is no joke. Here's the map. I dug this map up on the New York Post, put it out. 22 cases here in New York, 60 in Cali. You got the death toll of 12, 11 of which is in Washington. So, screw the rest of the world. Let's just talk about the United States with this coronavirus, right? It's got the average flu, according to Google, when you ask Google, it says that the average flu has a 0.01% death rate. That means 1 in 1,000 die from the flu. Now, we're seeing stats with the coronavirus that it's more like 2 or 3 in 100 die. So it's a staggeringly higher, the equivalent of comparing coronavirus to the regular flu, corona flu to the regular flu is not correct at this point. So it's real, man. Don't touch anything, right? The idea is treat every surface like it's covered with the virus. Don't elbow pump. Don't touch your face. Alcohol. I found some of these in the store. I got a bottle of alcohol. I got my masks, which are really irrelevant because once you take it off and touch the other side, whatever was on it, you're going to get anyway. But I found these too. I found these alcohol prep pads. Right, alcohol prep pads. You can open one up. You snap one open when there's a suspicious. You carry these things in your pocket when there's a suspicious surface. Just break one out and touch it. You know what I mean? Like, put the shit on there, put the alcohol on there. Or splash this shit. It's only like $1. It's $1.99. Get a gallon of this shit. And just, start splashing it around wherever, any surface you're going to talk about. So U.S. coronavirus death toll rises to 12 amid new Seattle stadium worker tests positive. U.S. coronavirus death toll rose to 12 on Thursday as another person in Washington state succumbed to the disease. The officials announced a concessions vendor at the Seattle Seahawks stadium tested positive. Kings County health officials said the woman in her 90s died on Wednesday. That's the other thing. Stop right there. Take care of yourself. A woman in her 90s is prone and susceptible and has a low immune system. One of the best things you could do right now is take care of yourself. Because if you're in good shape and you fall, if you don't fall in that the 5 percentile of people that are, elderly or out of shape or can't breathe or have some sort of lung problems or immune deficiency problems, you're more susceptible. So increase your immune system. Eat more vegetables. Don't smoke. Don't drink, right? Stay healthy. Do a little exercise away from the corona. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. Don't fucking touch people. So, Marcus Conte, what's up, Joe? Yeah, clickbait. No, it's not clickbait. I'm gonna get to the main story in a second. Just give me a goddamn break. We're just getting started here. We're trying to get some people in the room before we start. Talk about the coronavirus. I'm trying to save your ass, Joe Green. It's not clickbait. It's no joke, man. Says Vinny DiMartini. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini in the house. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, and you won't get timed out today. Try to be civil. Right? Try not to be a dick and be civil in the chat, and we'll have a good time. Right? It's a learning experience. This is an education channel. This is not news. This is education for you. So before we jump into Joe Biden endorsing Bernie Sanders, the main story, I want to show you some of the inconsistencies in this rigged election so far. So we knew it was going to be rigged. We knew it would be rigged against Bernie Sanders. Is it rigged? Of course it's rigged. We saw them, cluster up the stage with all these shit sandwich contestants that had no chance of being president. And they all had their opinions, and they were all so strong in their convictions to ride this out for the American people all the way to the end. They were going to stick with it and fight for the American people. And all of a sudden, overnight, 3 of them drop out. What the fuck? What happened? What happened? Klobuchar, Buttigieg, they were so committed. Or were they political actors? Right? Were they paid off by the DNC? Does the DNC have their thumb on the scale? Of course. Of course they do, right? We don't need... What's different about 2016? 2016, we saw how the oligarchy was coming in and fucking with the election, right? Now we don't even need WikiLeaks anymore. They're doing it right out in front of our face. They're doing it right out in the open where the DNC is cheating. They cheated in Iowa. The numbers don't add up. Look at these numbers. Look, how come you can't get... Here's Google. So this is AP reporting. Biden 627, overall delegate count. Biden 627, Bernie 551. Then you go to Politico, Biden 573, Bernie 491. New York Times has Biden 566 and Sanders 495. Not a single one of them are consistent. Here's the other funny thing that's going on, right? How come California is still likely Sanders? The only one that Sanders wins big, they're still counting votes, 89%, where all the other ones are 100%, 94%. Look at Politico, right? Politico, Alabama, all of these are 100% recorded, with the exception of Maine, that's 98 and 99. But we'll call that 100%. But in the states that Bernie Sanders won, Vermont, of course, they gave it 100%. But look how they hold back the numbers right here. In this second column, Colorado, only 79% of the vote in. In Utah, only 74% of the vote in. In California, only 92%. So you've got all the outstanding votes in 3 of the 4 states that Bernie Sanders won. Why? So you can continue to paint the illusion that Biden has some sort of insurmountable lead on Sanders, which he does not. This is a very, very close race, arguably a tie. Biden has a slight edge because of the cheating that we talked about, because of it's got to be vote flipping. Something's going on there, all right? It's the DNC. Listen, if you work in perhaps an election bureau somewhere, I don't know, let's say New York, for example, And the DNC, you're basically an employee of the DNC, and they lean and they're leaning on Sanders and pushing, I don't know, maybe Hillary Clinton, for example, because they want Hillary Clinton to be the candidate. Your job is on the line, right? Your job, that's the wink and the nod that if you don't fucking make this happen for Hillary Clinton, Mr. Election Counter in New York, and you don't sink Bernie Sanders now, guess what? You're out of job. Just do it. Just do it. Don't worry. It's a crime, but we'll cover you. All right? That's what happened in New York. Guys cheated. In that case, they dumped 200,000 voters off the rolls, purged, got caught. That's felony tampering. Same thing in Florida. Felony tampering with the elections. No crime, no charge, no investigation, not even a firing. The guy in New York didn't even get fired. Right? So there is cheating. We know that. We know that. Just to reiterate the cheating, right? But Joe Biden is so senile, as you watched my video yesterday. If you want evidence that Joe Biden is senile, then just watch the video. And I put all the clips together. He doesn't know his wife from his sister. He's grabbing his wife's hand, thinking it's his little sister. He's fucking lost his mind. He doesn't know it's Tuesday. He doesn't know the election's Super Tuesday instead of Super Thursday. He doesn't remember the Declaration of Independence. He's the fucking vice president of the United States. So here's Joe Biden. Marcus Conte reporting with breaking news. Joe Biden has endorsed Bernie Sanders. Check this shit out. Watch this.
And now we see that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are actually running neck and neck.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is from 2016. Gotcha. Here's the gotcha, right? The gotcha is not really a gotcha. The gotcha is when you watch this, right? When you watch Joe Biden endorse Bernie Sanders, he does. He sticks up for Bernie Sanders. You're going to hear him in his own words describe what he really thinks of Bernie Sanders. But here's the other thing, which plays into yesterday's dialogue of, is Joe Biden senile? Yes, he is. He shows signs of Alzheimer's, signs of mental slipping. His brain circuits out, short circuits, and then you see the fear on his face because he knows he was caught confused. Was he always that way? Because that's what the mainstream media will try to convince you. Oh no, he's always been a little stuttery. Oh no, he's always been like that. Don't pay any attention to that. But the answer is no, he has not always been like that. This is 2016, only 4 short years ago. Joe Biden, listen to his articulation. Listen to his ability to think. He's cognitive. He's intelligent. Is he a natural born leader? No. He's a second fiddle to Obama. But is he articulate and is his brain working properly? That's number one to watch for. And I think you'll agree that it's yes. He is articulate at that point. The other thing is of course he's going to endorses Bernie Sanders running against Hillary Clinton. He doesn't say it, but watch what he says. Let's watch.
In Iowa and in New Hampshire. Why do you think Hillary Clinton is struggling?
Well, first of all, I've been of the view, and I don't know that you and I talked about it. I don't want to say that for certain, but we may have. I thought for the last 6 months they were neck and neck in both places. Mm-hmm. I never bought the idea that there was somehow that, remember when he was up by 15 points in New Hampshire and he was down by 15 points? That's not the way this process works, as you and I both know. I'm much older than you, but you've covered a lot of this. Uh-huh.
So there's Joe Biden describing the inconsistencies in the polling, that's not how the system works. That's Joe Biden right there, pointing his finger at how could you be up 15 1 minute and down 15 the next? It doesn't work like that. It's designed to confuse people. Polling is Joe Biden agrees with me that the polling is rigged. Said it from the beginning. I'm tired of saying I said it from the beginning. I'm going to try to stop doing that because I hate when other people do it. I was right. If you follow it closely all day long, you start to see the patterns that these numbers don't add up in terms of the polls. There's Joe Biden telling you that's not how it works.
And so I'm not surprised that it is viewed as neck and neck, but I'm also will be surprised if the pundits turn out to be right. They hardly ever are in Iowa, New Hampshire. So I'm not.
But why is she struggling? I mean, you say, I mean, we considered she was an overwhelming favorite, and
Well,
but
I think that's part of the reason.
he's a democratic socialist.
Yeah, but if I mean, if Bernie Sanders never said he was a democratic socialist, based on what he's saying, people wouldn't be calling him a democratic socialist. That's how he characterizes himself in sort of European terms, the democratic socialist parties in Europe.
But why is she having trouble?
Well, I think that Bernie is speaking to a yearning that is deep and real, and he has credibility on it. And that is the absolute enormous concentration of wealth in a small group of people, with the middle class now being able to be shown being left out. There used to be a basic bargain. If you contributed to the profitability of an enterprise, you got to share in the profit. That's been broken. Productivity's up, wages are stagnant.
Did you hear what he just said? He just made the case for Bernie Sanders. He just made the case. He said that once upon a time, people used to share in the prosperity of this country. And that's no longer the case. And that is the fundamental, that is the essence, that is the single place where Bernie Sanders places his finger on the button and holds it there. And he has for 40 years. Listen to it again. Very, very revealing. Joe Biden saying this in 2016. Really saying Bernie Sanders is the guy that the people want and need at this time in history. And this is the vice president sitting next to the president saying it, that it's no longer the case that regular people have a shot against the billionaire class. Listen to it again.
Of wealth in a small group of people, with the middle class now being able to be shown being left out. There used to be a basic bargain. If you contributed to the profitability of an enterprise, you got to share in the profit. That's been broken. Productivity's up, wages are stagnant.
Hillary's talking about that as well.
It's relatively new for Hillary to talk about that. Hillary's focus has been on other things up to now, and that's been Bernie's. No one questions Bernie's authenticity on those issues.
And they question hers, you think?
Well, I think they question everybody's who hasn't been talking about it all.
No one questions Bernie's authenticity on those issues. And for everybody else, including Hillary Clinton, it's a relatively new idea to talk about. Bernie Sanders brought the dialogue to that. But you see how articulate Biden is in his ability to explain. It's a different Joe Biden. Would you agree? I mean, is this the same Joe Biden we're seeing now? The senile fool, the gaffe king, the guy who screams into the mic, who he doesn't know his sister from his wife, from his mother. He doesn't know if it's Tuesday or Thursday. He doesn't remember he doesn't know anything, right? He's running for Senate instead of the president. Is it the same Joe Biden? No, it's clearly not. And when he had his wits about him, who was he touting? Bernie Sanders.
Along, but I think she's come forward with some really, really thoughtful approaches to deal with the issue. But I just think, and look, everybody, it's the old thing. Everybody wants to be the favorite. No one wants to be the prohibitive favorite. Mm-hmm. And so it's an awful high bar for her to meet, that she was the absolute prohibitive favorite. I never thought she was a prohibitive favorite. I don't think she ever thought she was the prohibitive favorite. So I think it's everything's sort of coming down to earth, just settling in, but it's not over.
So if Hillary Clinton should lose Iowa and New Hampshire, is there any way that you would possibly take another look at this race?
No, first of all, even if Hillary loses both, I haven't thought this through, it's a long way to go to the nomination. And, it's one thing, theoretically, to win both of those. If you go into South Carolina, it's going to be a...
And he's saying, even if you lost North Carolina, even if you lost Iowa and New Hampshire, even if you got slaughtered right out the gate, It's a long primary, right? We still got only 35% of the vote in, 38% of the vote in. That's nothing, right? You got the big enchiladas coming. 65% of the vote is coming, right? The Rust Belt hasn't spoke yet. You got all the shit sandwiches out of the way. You've got Elizabeth Warren out of the way. You got Buttigieg out of the way. Klobuchar. You got Bloomberg gone. They're all gone now. It's a two-man race. Yeah, I know. Tulsi Gabbard. Whoop-de-doo. You got it. It's a two-man race right now. Outside of the cheating, even the other guy, Joe Biden, is saying Bernie Sanders, he's the shit. He's got his finger on the pulse of America.
Pretty rough sledding down there for Bernie and for and another guy who's in it, O'Malley. He's a qualified guy. This guy's
a qualified guy. So there you go, man. There's Joe Biden endorsing Bernie Sanders in 2016, telling you straight up that Bernie Sanders speaks to the working class of this nation, the people that know that the ruling class have spun out of control. Has that message changed? No. Bernie Sanders, as Biden says, is the most authentic guy in the game saying it. He's been saying it his whole career. And is he right? Damn right he's right. Now he's running against a senile old man, because I don't think of Bernie Sanders as a senile old man. I think of him as a he's a smart, it's like Ralph Nader. When you watch Ralph Nader speak, Ralph Nader's in his 90s. And he's articulate now as he was in his, 30s. He's the same. He rambles a little bit, but he always did. He always rambled. But his mental facility is the same. Some people age well. Some people, my grandmother was articulate right up into 90. The lights were on. Every light was on in the house. Some people don't. And it does appear, I think you can't underestimate the fact that the Democrats are about to nominate a senile old man to fill the void, to fill the vacuum, run against Trump, and freaking lose. They're going to lose. Biden goes against Trump. Trump will go right for his mental facility. All right? Forget about his balls. He's going to go right for Biden's inability to even know where he is. And he's gonna challenge him, and you don't think that Trump is going to do that? That's precisely what Trump is going to do. He's going to destroy him, tear down his character, because he has no policies to stand on. Once you knock out his mental ability to have a conversation or whatever, his judgment, his ability to reason, his ability to know, he doesn't even know what state he's standing in. Remember when he said he's in New Hampshire when he was in Vermont, or vice versa. He doesn't even know fucking where he is. Right? And you're on the world stage, and you're just gaffing away. It's a disaster. The Democrats are going to put this guy up because they're deathly afraid of Sanders rocking the boat. I haven't looked at the market today. We'll see. So Yahoo! You always look at the Dow Jones, see what's going on. Look, it's down another. It opens in 2 minutes, so get to watch it together. So it was down 800 yesterday, and it opens in 2 minutes. So we'll watch it again. I don't know where it's going to open. I didn't see the futures, but you'll see it. We'll watch it together. We'll watch it open in 2 minutes. New York time, of course. So that's Joe Biden. Endorsing Bernie Sanders. I want to look at the reaction. This video got a lot of steam. Cenk Uygur, they're saying Cenk Uygur melted down on the young jerks about Super Tuesday. He lost his congressional race, by the way. He came in 4th place amongst Democrats. So they hatchet jobbed him, or he just wasn't appealing in that district. He tried to kind of squeak in. And so Cenk Uygur has failed in his run for Congress to get the Democratic nomination. Cenk Uygur out of the running. He's back in the running. He's back in the driver's seat for his own gain. I'm very curious about this. The market opens in 1 minute. Let's see how it hits. Let's see how it happens. Right. So We were down 821 yesterday. It should update in a minute. As of 9:18. Let's let it open. Market. Is it updating? Is it updating? I guess it's not live. Maybe this is today. I don't even know. I don't even know. So anyway, we'll come back to that. So let's look at Cenk Uygur. Some of what he was saying. His buddy was irritating the shit out of him. The guy sitting on the panel next to him, saying that Bernie Sanders is getting cheated. He can't win. Let's watch.
Oh, you got to go because you got stuff to do. But what does Bernie do? Is he going to change rhetoric? Is he going to change presentation? Is he going to?
It's very important what Ben is saying. Is Bernie Sanders going to do the same old, same old? Look, the leader must lead. Now, Bernie Sanders is being cheated. There's all the signs on the wall. Right? But Bernie Sanders he thinks in his mind, he has to play this delicate game of, I'm trying to enter the Democratic Party, then destroy it. Not destroy it first because then they won't let me in. You're like this screaming crazy person outside the door trying to get in, and they're just not going to let you in. So his idea is, I got to sneak in the door or this isn't going to happen. Trust me, I've been in politics 40 years, is what he's saying. Wink. Like, we got to get in the door first before we blow them up. All right? You can only be so subtle on the campaign trail. You got to get people rallying, telling the people, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change everything for you, for the benefit of you. But on the other hand, he's got to play that delicate balance with the DNC. Because why? Because they control the levers of power and they're going to cheat him. All right? But at some point, which we saw that point in 2016, the leader must lead. The leader must step up to the plate and look out amongst his crowd of the tried and true, the Bernie faithful. He must look out of the sea, over the sea of millions of people he's inspired for a revolution and say, we got fucked again, and this time we're not going to take it. That's has to be his message now, in my view, because they're cheating him again. If all we got to do is, if we just have to depend on fake numbers and believe that this is what's going on, and we know it isn't what's going on, and Sanders is likely to win California, what are they going to do? Rip it out of his feet with the last 11% in the last hour of the, next month? Oh, by the way, California, Biden won California. This is over cheating. So at some point, will the leader stand up and lead? Even if it means, I don't know what it means. What does it mean? It means he's going to be called a leader in the mainstream media. Look at Bernie Sanders. How dare him? He's leading. How dare him stand up and call out the corruption and lead his people to victory? How dare him? What a disgrace. Joe Biden's our candidate. I know he's senile. He can't. What are they going to do? What the hell are they going to do? So, did the market open already? God damn it, you're making me look crazy. So the futures, there's the futures, right? The future. This is pissing me off, man, because, I should know this shit. But anyway, futures are down. That's an indicator. So the futures are down again, 818. Futures are down. Dow Jones. Let it update. Because it's important. Because if the market is, what is the market doing? How is the market reacting to all of this craziness? So let's listen to more of Cenk Uygur. Sorry about that. I cut you guys off.
Change anything, or is it just going to be a war that I think in the end Bernie will lose?
No, Biden does not win that war.
Bernie, that's why I didn't say Biden will win, that Bernie will lose somehow, combined, whether it's Biden or a brokered convention and Mike Bloomberg is the nominee, or Elizabeth Warren is some compromise nominee, or Beto O'Rourke is the nominee, or Michelle Obama is the nominee.
Yeah, I don't, look.
I don't even
No, guys, 2020 is everything, and we're in the middle of it right now. This is Super Tuesday. It doesn't get any more real than this.
This is a pretty good meltdown, right? Cenk Uygur goes off on this. Watch this shit.
So, look, fine, I'll do it.
I didn't say ZOX in the chat. I didn't say that Biden won California. What I'm saying is that they haven't thrown it. Here's Politico. Here's Politico giving Bernie Sanders the check mark. The difference in the vote was, according to this, is 25% for Biden, 33% for Sanders. However, if you look at the New York Times, they are saying Sanders very likely won with 89% of the vote in. Right? How does the New York Times not know that Sanders has that 93% of the vote is in? What I'm trying to tell you is that as people start to forget, 10% of California is 40 votes. All right, so down the road, if people don't pay attention, they'll say, oh, no, Biden surged in California in those last 10%. I'm not saying that Biden won, but according to the New York Times, you just got to watch the numbers because they're cheating. You don't think that they would pull something like that out of their hat? Of course they would.
Okay, I feel like I said this my whole life. Fine, I'll do it. Okay, no matter what happens tonight, if the establishment media continues to lie about Biden's record, we all have to go and collectively kick their goddamn asses. Of course not physically, we're progressives, but yes, we will be forceful. You're forceful in your lie.
This brings up my other point of what is the proper way forward if you know that you're living in a rigged democracy. What is the solution? Signs out in front of the DNC. Look how angry we are. And what happens in that scenario? Even if 1 million people show up, it doesn't matter, really. Historically, it doesn't make a difference. Mainstream media is well equipped for that. The government is well equipped for that. All they do is create a little violence, clear it out, blame the people as rioters, paint them as rioters. Look, they're aggressive, they're nasty, they're dangerous. Clear them out. Just like they did with the Iraq War stuff. Remember in 2002 when 1 million people hit the street and they started running people over with horses? It happened here in New York. It's just paint the big crowd as violent radicals, and it goes away. And the mainstream media just echoes like an echo chamber over and over again. So the point is, does the old way of working really work anymore? No, it doesn't. It goes back to what I had said earlier, well, I guess a year ago, is that passive resistance is the way to go. You don't say, oh, everybody, let's join forces and stand out. Let's spend our money to go to Milwaukee and live and sleep on the street because there's no hotels left. Let's sleep in cars and eat crap food and protest, and somehow that's going to make a difference to the billionaires and the oligarchs that are sitting in comfortable hotels and run the media. And somehow that's going to make a change. I don't know. I mean, it may be in the 60s it did, but we're living in different times. We're living in a police state right now. Maybe passive aggressive. Maybe passive resistance, not passive aggressive. Passive resistance where everybody stands up and says, you know what? If everybody in this country pulled their money out of the bank, for example, run on the banks, if everybody refused to go to work for a week, in 3 days the system would fail. It would fold. You follow? It's what Gandhi said. Mahatma Gandhi said it's not what you do, it's what you don't do. Because if you sit in your cubicle, your $50,000 a year cubicle, screaming about a Green New Deal, but you work for ExxonMobil, or you work for you work for Boeing that builds bombs, you're not doing shit. Right? You're not doing anything. You're a crybaby, a big crybaby. Now, to the people that voted, the Trump supporters, there's no convincing. I watched Lionel Nation. He was on RT this morning, Crosstalk. He's just a big buffoon. He comes off like a big, arrogant baby, a big New York crybaby. Oh, fuck, when you tell him that there's income and wealth inequality in this country and that the system is rigged by the oligarchs and the billionaires, he's like, oh, it's fucking holy shit. It's so stupid to even say that. Trump is so beautiful. Look how smart he is. Trump is the man. Let me do a hand fart for you. Right? That's fucking Lionel Nation. They're idiots. Right? These guys are clowns. They're clowns. The H.A. Goodmans of the world, the Styx Hexenhammers of the world, the Lionel Nations. They're caricatures of themselves. They're freaking clowns right now. Even Tucker Carlson gets it that Bernie Sanders is the favorite, and that there are these things in the world, income and wealth inequality, that people do want health care and education, and they don't want to, if they get sick, they don't want to go bankrupt, and they don't want to go bankrupt going to a school that's a little, too, it's not affordable for them. People are fucking tired of it. They're tired of working for scraps and getting ripped off by the oligarchs. Do you know what $1 billion is? Do you know what $1 billion fucking dollars is? Have you ever seen $1 million? You know, most people have never seen $1 million stacked on a table. You know how much fucking cash that is? You know how much money? You know how many hours the working class jerk off has to make? How many hours they have to work for $1 million? It's like 2 or 3 lifetimes. Right? $1 million, and that's not a lot of money. Now you compound that to $1 billion. That's $1,000 million. Can you most people, their brains shut off when they try to comprehend $1 billion. And you got a guy standing on the stage that has $60 billion to his name. He could end poverty in this nation. He could feed and house every homeless person in this country and still have 2/3 of his money left. $1 billion. Do you get it? How much wealth is concentrated at the top 1%, and it wasn't always like that, right? It's a result of capitalism spinning out of control, needs a reset, but the greedy fucks that control the levers of power are not going to let it happen. If people could perceive, I remember that scene. One scene that most people would kind of identify was, you remember in Breaking Bad when the because he's a meth dealer and he had all his cash, and he had his 2 Goombas go into the storage facility where he had all his money stashed while he was, I don't know, I think he was in jail or wherever he was hiding. And those 2 guys, they just laid on top of the pile of money. You remember that? It was like how many millions of dollars? Maybe $100 million, and they just laid on top of it. It was so much money. Does any one person deserve that kind of wealth because of a rigged system? Because they were positioned in a place, and for some bizarre reason, powers that are unexplainable, really, greed. Are they deserving of that kind of money? Is what I'm trying to say. To me, that's what this whole thing is about. That's what Cenk Uygur fights for. That's what Cenk Uygur sees. That's what I see. That's what guys like Jimmy Dorsey. That's what guys like, H.A. Goodman, Lionel Nation, and the YouTube Satan kid. That's what they're trying to make you not see. That's all I'm trying to say here. So anyway.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. Okay, we're going to call it out. We're going to be very, 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 very forceful. And they say, oh, no, don't watch online stuff. No, they're illegitimate. We legitimate people lie on behalf of Joe Biden and the establishment. We're not going to take your lies anymore. Joe Biden did not get arrested with Nelson Mandela. Who makes up a lie like that? An incredibly stupid.
Here's the problem that I have in general with the Young Turks, right? I argue that the situation is rigged, but I argue it further and say that the machines are rigged. That the whole thing it's an insurmountable level of corruption, whereas Cenk Uygur does not. He thinks that you got to fight harder. You got to get out in the street and carry on. You got to, put up your sign and your middle finger at the oligarchs, and that's going to matter. And we saw, again, for example, in New York City with Occupy Wall Street, in the final analysis, the NYPD dragged those kids out of the park of, what's it called? The fucking park over here, right? Forgot the name of the park. They dragged them out by their feet, literally taking bodies. Zuccotti Park, the Occupy Wall Street Park, taking the kids and taking them by the, physically throwing them out of the park, dragging them, smashing their shit, their tents, and all their shit, and that was the end of it. And the billionaires up in the buildings all around them. You got Merrill Lynch down there. You got Goldman Sachs. You got Morgan Stanley down the block. They're all there, right? And they're what they're doing is they're laughing their asses off. They're pissing off the roofs on these kids' heads. It's no different than now. The point is, the Cenk Uygurs of the world are taking an old strategy to an ongoing problem. Do the same things, expect the same result. I fundamentally disagree. I had said yellow vest, some sort of radical move, a move that it's not what you do, it's what we collectively don't do, which is participate in a corrupt system. Right? If everybody didn't vote, who wins? I don't know.
Stupid person makes up a lie like that. An incredibly immoral person makes up a lie like that. I would. Can you imagine if somebody asked you and you said you got arrested with Nelson Mandela? Stolen valor. That's what Joe Biden is. He's stolen valor.
Okay, let me just add, because I'd like you to think about this.
But this is good politics. I mean, what Cenk Uygur is doing, he's making a case that that Biden is senile, Biden is a liar, and those two combination with a guy like Trump, who is an actor, is a professional wrestler. Literally, he's a wrestler. Trump knows it's all fake and it's all bullshit, and the object is to be standing over your enemy like this and get the crowd to roar. Trump knows the game, and it is a game. Right? Sanders, on the other hand, Sanders knows. I don't know if he knows it's a game, but Sanders will beat Trump, whereas Trump will destroy Biden. So Cenk Uygur makes the case that to attack Biden, we still have time left. Attack Biden until there's nothing left of him, because Trump's going to do it. So we should do it now. Right? Keep attacking Biden.
As you go do your things, right? Is that's a fine political tactic to take when you're trying to beat Joe Biden, unquestionably.
And we will beat him.
Okay, all right, but there is a second component to that, to tearing Joe Biden down. And if Bernie Sanders wants to be the nominee and have the chance to beat Trump and be president of the United States, he has to show political moxie too. He's never had to. This movement happened.
Now, Ben makes an excellent point. Ben makes the point that Bernie Sanders is not leading. He has to show the political moxie, whatever that means. He's got to show balls. Bernie Sanders has to do what Trump does. He's got to look into the camera and say they're goddamn cheating. Right? They're cheating, and these people are corrupt, and they're evil. You gotta call at some point. If Bernie, if your plan is to burn down the party, you can't wait to the end when they have all the powers in their hand. You have to do it now. You got to do it during the primary. You got to stop burning it down. You have everybody's attention, and you got to go out in flames. Right? And it may cost you, not being able to, to hang out with the Democrats in the Senate. It may cost you all. Are you all in? Right? As a leader, are you all in? You already got your summer home and your $1 million and you're world famous, and you certainly would get, speaking engagements on CNBC and, make some money. You're not going to be poor, Bernie Sanders. You're not going to be poor, and you're not going to live for goddamn ever. Now, do you have the political balls to tear it down right now? Joe Biden is endorsing you. He endorsed you in 2016. Everybody knows that Bernie is the guy to do it. But does Bernie have the political testicles to push forward?
With him saying the exact same thing. But this movement is not going to grow big enough for him to win. It might tear Biden down, but it's not going to grow big enough for him to win without him doing something to quell the fears.
I know, he's got to create miracle after miracle after miracle to get past the mainstream media lies.
No, Cenk. He doesn't have to. go miracle after miracle after miracle. He's got to stop standing next to Joe Biden saying he's a good guy. I like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a decent guy. No, Joe Biden is a senile old fuck who voted for the Iraq War, who voted for the credit card bill. The credit card companies sided with big pharma, with big oil, the war machine in Syria, in Iraq. He sided with all of the establishment bullshit. He's not a decent guy. He's a political hack. He's a yes sir, and now he's an empty shell with no brain left. He's a blank screen, and the oligarchs are gonna project whatever they want you to see about Joe Biden. They're gonna place Joe Biden in the tank and let him absorb everything around him. He's not a nice guy. He's not a decent guy. Don't paint him like that, because that's what you're projecting. You're campaigning for Joe Biden when you say that, you idiot.
True, it is true. Brent's telling the truth. It's true. But it is because he has to overcome the mountain of lies of the mainstream media. Yes, tyt.com/go. Look, are you kidding me? We need to be sustainable in the middle of this trench warfare. And it is. It's not of our making. We thought look, a week ago, I would have told you, I did tell you, Super Tuesday, I think we got this. Remember, we were talking about Whisper of a Dream. I think it might be over on Super Tuesday. So I'm not saying this on behalf of TYT or anything like that. We thought it was almost over. Bernie was going to win. Now it's not over. Now we're in a tie. And now we got absolute dig-in warfare against the establishment. But we didn't start the war. They'll lie about it again. We didn't start the war. They started the war.
I was right about the Dow Jones. It opened down 776. So let's look at the chart for 1 second. We'll get back to Mr. Potato Head. So the market is this is important, because why is it down? Is that a sign that maybe people woke up? I don't think it has much to do. I don't think it has as much to do everybody's saying as everybody's saying with coronavirus. I just simply don't believe that. So if you believe that, don't hold it to me, because I don't believe it. Why isn't this? Nothing is working anymore with Google. Google is messing with people. There it is. So this is getting real now. This is the last 2 weeks. Off the top, 29,000. We're down to 25,000. That's a 4,500 point drop in the Dow. My target. Here's my trend line. For some reason, I can't get it to reduce. It's not working. Sorry. It's not working. But here's my trend line from 2008. I think it's probably gonna hit this trend line. If Sanders can surge and do some of the things we say, it's gonna go. It's likely to come back down to 18,000. That's all I'm saying. But we're down again. So is Wall Street still? Is Wall Street still tallying in a possible Bernie Sanders win? Yeah, because the numbers are pretty much even. Going forward, you've got Bernie Sanders saying the same stuff and inspiring people, and Joe Biden is an empty shell who can't sew a sentence together. So I don't know. Are they going to cheat him? Are they going to, how can you continue to cheat for a guy who doesn't make sense? Is incompetent. I just believe that the stock market has those answers if you look for it.
They've been lying about Bernie Sanders. For God's sake, on Castro, I could give you 1,000 examples. Bernie Sanders said the same exact thing as Obama. Everyone on TV is lying like, oh my God, what an outrageous thing Bernie Sanders said. Obama said the same thing. No, shut up. Don't cover it. Obama said the same thing.
Rather than attack the mainstream media like Cenk Uygur likes to do, why don't you where were you when the voting machines were rigged in Florida and Tim Canova was trying to get on your show and tell you about it? Where were you then? I've never heard Cenk Uygur ever say that the machines flip votes. I've never heard him say it. And that's a losing argument. Why? Because you're playing it safe. You think if you say that, then you're some kind of conspiracy kook. No, not when you have the evidence on the table. When the evidence is on the table, you stand on that evidence and you talk about it. That's all you're doing. No evidence, don't talk about it. But there's overwhelming evidence of not only the rigging of the primary, how it's set up, who gets to speak, who gets to go on stage, who they pull out at any given moment, who they promote to the mainstream media. That's all part of the rigging. But essentially, what we saw on Super Tuesday is something very, very different, where a guy was risen from the dead, literally, and won state to state to state, 9 states, 10 states. It's unthinkable. It doesn't work that way, is what I'm trying to say. And if you don't want to look at that, Mr. Potato Head, that's probably why you lost your Congress seat, because you're full of shit.
Thing. Is Obama pro Fidel Castro? Same exact thing. God damn it, tell the truth. God damn it, tell the truth. If you're not going to do it, we're going to do it, okay? And so you want to go to war, we'll go to war. And that is what this is. We cannot let Biden win. Guys, not just on progressives versus establishment. This is so important. I need you to understand this. Biden is not going to beat Trump. Biden is...
There's his prediction. Biden is not going to beat Trump. 100% there.
Either near senile or actually senile. Watch any of the tapes. And Biden lies nonstop. He's going to get caught. He's okay, the media is covering for him, but they're not going to be able to cover when the Republicans come for him. And when Trump comes for him, he's not going to beat Trump. The establishment candidate is less likely to beat Trump. Anyway, we just had 2016. The establishment candidate lost to a doofus like Trump.
Sounds like a big baby, right? He's losing his fucking mind.
And now here we go, an establishment candidate that is far worse with his mental faculties under question. His record worse than Hillary Clinton's. He lies 1,000 times more than Hillary Clinton did, right? And you're going to run that?
I don't know about that. I think Hillary Clinton was the queen of the lie. I mean, but Biden's pretty bad, but Hillary Clinton was way worse.
Guy against Trump, and we're going to lose to Trump again and maybe lose our democracy? Hell no. Hell no. No, Bernie Sanders is going to win this race. And I'm telling you right now, and it's not just, hey, let's go fight. It's also a prediction. Biden is not capable of winning this. And we're not doing any brokered convention where they give it to someone who didn't get less votes. Not going to happen. Bernie Sanders is going to be the nominee. I'm telling you right now. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thank you, Cenk Uygur, man. So anyway, Mark Conte reporting. I don't know, man. So Joe Biden, what we discovered today is that Joe Biden is. I read some comments. Why didn't Bernie say it? I don't know. I don't know why Bernie doesn't say any of these things. He's so aggressive. Cenk Uygur, I believe you're saying. They surely cheated huge in California too. Jerry Fleming. I agree. I think what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? We talk about it. We see it. It's not that what we see isn't happening, but what are we going to do about it? Just sitting, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable right now. I'm sitting in my house. We're talking about it, dialogue. We're shadow banned. There's only, they prevent this message from getting out, right? Can't even, a couple, maybe 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, that's it. Right? They shadow ban the shit out of us because somebody's speaking the truth and we're chatting about the truth. Right? How do you get it out? What do we have to do? What is the solution to the problem? Is it just go along with Trump and fantasize that he's draining the swamp and he's going to lock everybody up? He's going to build a wall. He's going to get health care for everybody. He's jobs for everybody. Right? What's the solution? Right? I thought Trump is tearing it down, but meanwhile it's so convoluted. Right? What is the solution to the wake people of this country that know that they're getting screwed and that they don't have fair elections? I don't know. Again, I lean on passive resistance where people do less, come together and do less. Kind of a combination of what the Yellow Vests did in France or in Venezuela, where they were all together and they basically kept the oligarchs out. They refused to let Juan Guaido in the light of overwhelming pressure to being called a socialist dictatorship and motherfuckers, right? All that shit comes out. So what is the solution? I guess that's the next video, right? What is the solution? How do we overcome this incredible margin of cheating? This incredible margin of cheating. Revolution is the only thing left. ZOX. Yeah. The establishment line is funny. Bernie wants to put the fate of your healthcare budget in the hands of the political establishment. The people who gave us private prisons and the panotepic, whatever that means. Bernie Sanders doesn't want to put healthcare in the hands of the government. It's single payer. The government becomes the single payer of the system. We do it fine. Right? The other problem is if you make healthcare in this country, free for all people who need it, if you make a college education available to anybody who wants it at the public level, just like high school, all the way up to the college level, where people can decide, pick a major and study it and educate themselves in a select field. What happens to the military-industrial complex? How are you going to get 18-year-old kids that they say, oh, I'll give 4 years to the military and then I'll get a college education for free. I'll get the GI Bill. That's gone. That's off the table. So the oligarchy has no interest. They need those kids. They need the slaves on the ground, the young people. They need them. They need 18-year-old kids to fight and die in wars that don't make us any safer, but secure our investments, secure our, as they call them, interests abroad. We have interests in the Middle East. What interest? Stealing the oil? Stealing the resources from under their feet? Painting the picture that they're radicals when you're stealing from them and they're defending themselves? That's your agenda? Regime change wars because we don't like that the leader of that country won't go along with our plan, right? Or the Monroe Doctrine, meaning that, as John Bolton said, everything in the Southern Hemisphere, everything in the Americas, right, from the tip of Argentina all the way up to the tip of Canada is Americas, is the Americas. We have a manifest destiny. We have a right to everything, to control everything from the North Pole to the South Pole, as long as it's in the line of the Americas. We have a right to control everybody and everything. That's all right, I'm rambling right now. So Mark's Conte reporting. Got some other stuff coming up. Probably today. Going to check out Lee Camp. I'll be at Strand Books. If you're in New York, I'll be at Strand Books 8 o'clock, 7 p.m. Saturday night for Lee Camp's book party. What's his book? I'll give him a plug. I'm going to be there. I'll interview him a little bit. Bullet Points and Punchlines in New York City, 7 p.m. Strand Books, 828 Broadway at 12th Street. Bullet Points and Punchlines is the name of the book. Strand at 7 p.m. I'll be there. Don't crowd my frame, but I'll be there. If you're there, I'll there. Say hello, and we'll get to talk to Lee Camp. He's a good man. He's a good dude, man. The book is awesome. It's got a opening by Chris Hedges gave him a blurb, and Jimmy Dore gave him a blurb. It's good stuff, man. I'm feeling it. Now, thank you, Sterling Price, for your moderation. Thank you, Vinny DiMartini. If you got timed out, that's your fault. It's not their fault. That's for you being a dick. If you're in the comments being a dick, if you're being a dick, that's why you got timed out. Stop being a dick and stop getting blocked, you dick.